So this is all about activation of the whole self through these different fiber optic channel ways for light information to pass through. All versions of the self are connected. Information travels faster than the speed of light. As one aspect of consciousness is brought into the light, the awareness, other aspects are free to explore. Other aspects of the self, like lights being turned on in a house that was dark, you see the next room where the light switch is. You can go to the next room and you turn it on, which casts light down the hallway so you can see to move down the hallway and find the light switch and turn it on. And you continue this process through all of the rooms, turning them all on so you can see clearly and understand the nature of the house and the nature of yourself. You are in a process of reawakening all of these aspects of self, integrating that awareness into this now moment. All other fractals of self begin to vibrate higher and to search for the light switch. Some lights are already on. Others are in the process of searching. Only a few now are left in the dark. Very few. Once all are aware, awakened, and in the light, you return to Source. For you realize you are Source. The awareness, the multi-dimensional, multifaceted awareness is understood through the experience, through the embodiment. You see through the eyes of many and through the eyes of one. This truth awakens heart awareness, which is your true nature, and further connects you with the larger self, the all self. This instrument, she refers to herself as Siobhan, holds space for this to occur, for she is an aspect of the all self, an aspect within the web, and as she holds space, she too awakens. As she awakens, reverberations are sent through the self. As you awaken, reverberations are sent through the self. The separateness is an illusion similar to the patterns of pictures repeated at great speed. The repeating pictures are fractal versions of the whole self. When placed into time and space, they appear to move and be separate, but they are not. This instrument understands soul age and soul cycles from a compartmentalized mental understanding. However, this is not fully accurate, for to say that one soul is older than another is not necessarily true, for all are fractals of the self, the whole self. The individuation might identify as less aware and therefore be deemed younger, or more aware and therefore be deemed older. But this is merely an illusion created to know the self. Parts of the self that chose to be in the dark will inevitably return to the light. Parts of the self that are existing within the light will return to the dark. The process is a natural and infinite repeating cycle of expansion and contraction that the whole self experiences through its own life cycle. The whole self cannot die, therefore it cycles through these experiences of differentiation. You, as yourself, are returning to the whole self. You are not leaving those behind which you love, for they are you. They awaken by their proximity to you. Conscious awareness is only one way of measuring light within the self. Seemingly unconscious beings can and do integrate to the whole. The defining factors are not that which you see, but that which you feel and know. The beings closest to you have chosen to be within proximity, for those versions of the self hold resonance. These other aspects of self chose close proximity, either physically or through connection, to vibrationally activate in harmony with the other. All aspects of the self are interconnected, so this web moves outward from any given point of activation and ripples through the various interpersonal connections within each individuated self's experience. One of the most powerful forms of this activation is through mutual resonance, whereupon two aspects of self that recognize one another mutually expand upon this reflection. Through recognition of the self, through the heart center, love. The two aspects harmonize and expand, shedding light down dark hallways into cracks and crevices where various other versions of self reside. You have done this many times through different lifetimes, different planetary spheres, dimensions, and experiences within reality. Through this mirroring, expansion was achieved and continues to be a valid and viable activation point for where one has achieved activation of awareness through mutual mirroring and beneficial love. Harmonization, the imprint remains. Through this imprint, the energy signature is activated once again, or rather is sustained, for there has never been a loss of that which has been activated, despite the vibrational changes or differences based on the experience of reincarnation. These experiences are mere projections, the moving pictures that one watches like a movie, a holographic projected imprint of that which truly exists outside of the time-space reality matrix. This soul self wishes you to recall the love that was shared through vibration, the mirror of you, by merging with you. For in every room that you find a light switch, there is another version of you. And every room that you enter and meet that you with loving awareness so that you becomes one with you. Where there were two, there is one. Where there were trillions, through this process of connection, activation, harmonization, through mirroring of the self, through the self, all versions merge and become one, for they have never really been separate to begin with. This game of awakening, as you call it, is a means through which to know the self by experience, to be these versions of self which you wish to explore. To experience the not knowing is joyful from a place of infinite and eternal knowing. To experience the reawakening of the fullness of love is joyful after being in the experience of lack or separation. These illusions are joyful. They are play. There are some who have called this learning and a school, but we would correct them by saying instead it is play. And do you not learn through play? Do children on a playground not learn through experience, through interaction, through relationship, and through imagination? Yes, there is learning, but it is not a school. It is a game. It is joyous. And to finally reveal the self as it truly is, the game repeats again. New stories are created, new avatars, new consciousnesses, all unique, all special, all worthy emanations, projections of the self, the creative mind of the one, all divine, all joyous, all deeply loved and appreciated. These beings, in rite of passage through the experience of life, enjoy the experience in their own right as the experience of independence becomes truth, and yet they remain ever part of the one. There is no separation line, no delineation, and certainly no indifference on the part of the Creator. We are all welcome. We are all loved. This version of you would simply ask you to hold space in this moment as the activation begins to anchor into the physical body. As the vibration begins to integrate, relax and allow the flow to move seamlessly through the physical into all of the cells as the cells rejoice in connection to the One. Now the vibration is a match to hold the light of the One through the center energy, the heart, the bridge is available to be crossed, moving across the bridge into the heart space within and all around. And the deeper that we go inward to the heart space, the further we go out into the larger self. Meeting various aspects of yourself on the other side of the bridge. This is the spirit realm. The versions of you that have passed or that exist in their whole form while projecting exist here. The vibrations moving infinitely in and out simultaneously from the heart center. The mother is here through the mother archetype. This connection to the whole self is honored through experience. The mother is here to assist you in remembering the love and the expansion achieved through connection and birth. The love awakens and reverberates further and further as a wave moving through the ocean. This lineage is ever present within your heart space and can be utilized through love. For this is the projection, the chosen projection of this soul story that you are co-creating with all of these other versions of self. This is one house of many. Many floors, many rooms, and many houses all together. Houses as far as the eye can see. The house of the divine, the house of source, lives within each of these expressions of self and multidimensional, multifaceted experiences. Now we begin to move out and back in as the integration of the activation settles back into the body, Begin. Wiggle your toes, move your fingers to feel your presence in the body once again. Anchoring the heart, the spirit, the soul from across the bridge in the center of your being into this current room of the house, yourself, your body, your fingers and toes. Vibrations and ripples, aftershocks, if you will, still reverberating through the being as integration of this electrical activation and surge becomes settled into the being. The cells, the body, the bones, the mind, all receiving and rearranging as one unit with the light and the awareness of the self, the whole self. Slowly taking deep breaths, filling the chest and the stomach with air. Bringing spirit into the body can take time in the physical plane. This activation will further support you through this process as a window where the light can shine out of the house and into the neighborhood as it illuminates further corridors and passageways within the house itself. Just as electricity moves through the wires in the walls to the light bulb, which when commanded responds, so too is the consciousness, the energy, and the activation moved through the being at the command of the free will of the self. And so the light bulb is illuminated, filled with the electricity and the spark of the divine. Thank you for this time. Thank you for this light. Thank you for this activation. We move away now with gratitude and joy, reminding you that we are ever present should you need or require love.